Hello, everyone. Welcome. If you're just hopping on, I know we're still connecting to audio and getting set up, but welcome. We are going to give it just about a minute or two here as people get on their lunch break and get signed on. So you can get yourself all cozied and get your lunch or whatever you need to do, and we'll get started here in just about a minute or two. Alrighty, we'll give it just about another minute. Again, if you just hopped on, we're just getting all set, letting everyone a minute or two to join on, and then we'll go get ahead and get started here in just a moment. And now we're on Facebook. So if you're joining us live on Facebook, welcome. Happy Monday. Happy sunny spring Monday. We'll give it just about 1 minute and then we'll start. Alrighty, I'm going to go ahead and kick us off. So again, welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us this afternoon for our third session of our Women Are Resilient speaker series. So I know lunch hour is busy. There's a lot to fit in right now. So we're really grateful for you taking this time and joining us. And we hope this is refreshing and inspiring and just a nice little time to join together. Before we introduce our speaker and get moving, just some logistics. You'll all see obviously that your video is turned off and you're muted. So that's just to protect the security and privacy of our presentation. So if you have any specific questions or concerns or anything, go ahead and use the chat function and a Treetop's staff member will go ahead and answer that. So again, chat is open, but we'll just go ahead and keep everyone's cameras off and keep everyone muted so you guys can just relax, enjoy your lunch or whatever you're up to right now and just tune in by listening. So this afternoon for our third session here, we are joined by Treetop's Concentric Program Director, Shadia Mabazi. She, through her role, she really invests in and multiplies our new American leadership here through Treetops. So each year, Shadia trains, leads, and equips 8 women leaders from 8 different language groups represented here in Grand Rapids, and really just partners with them to expand our holistic, really relational approach and model to that post-settlement support and connection. So through this concentric program, Shadia really leads and works alongside 20 women and teen girls as they navigate life here in West Michigan and the many complex systems, housing, immigration, transportation, all those things. She really just steps in and provides that leadership and support. So Shadia loves problem solving with women and teen girls and seeing them feel that sense of accomplishment. She learns from them every day and she feels she gets more from them than they do for her. Her passionate work really does activate the larger community as she really supports these new American leaders as they reach and achieve their goals. So as a new American herself, Shadia knows firsthand the complexities around making this place home. So she has walked that path herself and she feels passionate to ensure that women who she's working with now feel that trusted relationship from her and from others, that they feel connection and that they know they're not alone. So Shadia's lived experience is what drove her to actually invest as the first board member at Treetops, which is a cool fun fact. And so Shadia really just adds so much to our team. She's got great insight, wisdom, generosity, and empathy. And I can speak her firsthand as Shadia being one of my closest colleagues here, get to work really up close with her, that she is a wonderful woman and she inspires me. And Shadia, I see you as a very resilient woman in my life. So all of that being said, I am going to go ahead and turn it over to Shadia.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Megan. What an intro. Well, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for having me here. And Abby, thank you for inviting me to come and speak. Um, Let me see. My name is Shadia Mbabazi, and I'm originally from Rwanda. My family and I moved here from Botswana 5 or 6 years ago, and we've been living in Grand Rapids ever since then. Fun fact about me, I'm the only girl in a family of boys, and now I'm raising 2 very busy boys. So you can imagine how fun my life is. I lost my mom at a young age, and like Rebecca mentioned a couple of weeks ago, it truly does take a village to raise a child in Africa. Because when my mom passed away, I had, you guys will excuse me if I happen to get emotional. I'm a very emotional person sometimes. So, yeah, like I was saying, I lost my mom at a young age. And like Rebecca said a couple of weeks ago, it truly does take a village to raise a child in Africa. Because when my mom passed away, I had women that cared for me, women that invested in me, women that were always there encouraging me, supporting me, and women that made sure that I never lacked anything. And because of their continued love and support and encouragement, I felt loved, I felt worthy, and I felt valued. And this honestly is what inspired me to be the woman that I turned out to be today. So, today I'm going to talk to you about women that inspire me and resilient women. But before I get into that, I just want to say that resilience can mean different things or it can look differently to different people depending on your background or where you're coming from. So, I work here at Treetops, and like Megan mentioned, my role is to connect with the women and the team girls as they navigate life in this new country, in this new place. As we all know, starting a place in a new country or in a new place can be a challenge, especially if you have to, if especially with language barriers, wide cultural gaps, and a system that is different from what we are used to. I speak English, but to be honest with you, I still struggle with the culture here. Imagine if you were to walk in my shoes. I want to share today that I am inspired by the women that I get to walk alongside as I watch them navigate the system, navigate life in a new country, in a new place. And I have gained deep friendship and deep sisterhood with the women. The women are my friends. They are the ones I feel connected to when it comes to my own life experiences, be it the negative or the positive. We are always there supporting and encouraging each other. No matter how some days may seem darker than others, at least we know that we have each other. They know that they have me for support. They have Treetops family for support. And because of that, they persevere and we carry on and look forward to the next day. I am inspired and strengthened by this sisterhood, honestly. We are women who provide for our families. And as some of you may already know, new American women face so many challenges. Some of them go to work without even knowing how they'll get back home because of lack of transportation. Some of them go to work with the stress and the frustration of not being able to communicate with their supervisors or with their co-workers. But despite all that, they still continue to carry forward. And nothing ever stops us women when it comes to protecting, providing for our families, and trying to make a means for our families as well. We never allow life challenges to stop us. And most of all, we never allow life challenges to take away from the everyday moments that life offers us. Every time I visit my sisters, you guys, I am welcomed with so much cheer, so much laughter, so much love. I am welcomed, and they're always offering me chai, offering me to come in, asking me how my family is. When I see them, I see the women that raised me in Botswana. I see the women that inspired me to be the woman that I am. I just love my sisters. I love the way they hold on to their culture, even trying to adapt to a new culture. I love the way they speak, even with our accent. Like we laugh about it, but I just love it. I love connecting with the women. And like Megan said, I feel like I learn so much from them than they benefit from me or than they do from me. Some call it resilience, but I call it humanity. I call it being filled with so much love to not ever want to stop. I call it being filled with so much love that you want to give, spread, or share that love with other people. I call it being a woman. I call it being a refugee. And I just want to say that I can definitely say I have been inspired by these women to be a better mom, to be a better wife, even to be a better friend, as I watch them work so hard to navigate a system that is difficult without giving up. My sisters work so hard. I don't even know how to say the right words to say because there's so many challenges that they have to overcome. And if you work with new Americans, you know the challenges that they face, be it a language, be it transportation, be it people looking down on you just because you don't speak their language. But despite all that, my sisters continue, they persevere, they continuously try to sink their roots, trying to make this place feel like home and trying to feel like they belong in this new place. And despite all these frustrations of being a new American, it's amazing to see how my sisters persevere. And most amazing of all, they do that with so much joy. They still smile and they dress good. I was just thinking the other day, like, my sisters deal with so much, but then the way in which they handle it, if you look at them, you feel like she's got everything figured out. But that is not the case. It's just that love and that strength that they have, that they carry, and the support of each other that helps us push forward. And with this Women's Month, I want to challenge all of you. I want to challenge myself as well. Let us be women that honor each other, women that encourage and motivate each other. Let us respect new American women. Let us honor them because new American women are trying so hard. They left their homes and are here trying so hard to make this place their new home. Let us respect each other, regardless of our religion, race, or class. Mm. Because honestly, honoring one another is what it is truly to be human. Trust me, a little encouragement could go a long way. We should never underestimate the power encouraging somebody in a difficult situation has. Encouraging somebody and accepting somebody fully without prejudice or judgment. Believe me, this here carries forward, and this is key. I want to say that I'm inspired, honestly. I'm inspired by the women that I get to work alongside as I work here at Treetops. I'm inspired by the women that I work with at Treetops. I'm inspired by Aunt Hasina, and I'm inspired by so many other women. And I can truly say that I am blessed to have an opportunity to be able to walk alongside other women, learn from each other, be there for each other, support and encourage each other. I'm I'm blessed to be in an environment that just wishes and wants the best for each other and one another. And you know that we can rely on each other for support, be it navigating system, be it connection to resources, or be it when you just need a friend to have coffee with and say, you know what, I had a bad day. I am truly blessed to be working in such an environment and to be working with such amazing women. With this Women's Month, I just want to say, let us be women or let us be our sisters' keepers. Let us be the reason why another woman feels loved, a reason why another woman feels seen, valued, heard, and feels truly supported and like they can truly belong in this new place that we are all trying to make feel like home. And I just want to add and say that I encourage you, connect with a new American woman, get to know her, learn her culture, teach her your culture, and mentor a young girl. Because the kindness you share will definitely pay forward to another person. That's all I had to share today. Thank you. Thank you, Abby, and happy Women's Month, everybody.
Happy Women's Month, Shadia. Thank you so much for giving of your time and your wisdom and your experience to be with us today. I mean, I get to be with you virtually right now every day, but what a joy. And it's just so special to take time to really set aside and honor this month and what it means, and to pay respect to those relationships that we've been cultivating and investing in. So thank you. I just have a couple questions that I'd love to hear your insight on, just to help people get a kind of a bigger picture of what your work really looks like. So the first one is just, as you've walked with New American Women as a member of the Treetops team over the past few years, What are the things that you have seen that have really made the most difference for people? What kinds of support or partnership or friendship have you seen be the most powerful or impactful?
Oh, that's an interesting one, Abby. Honestly, from my experience, and also like with the model of treetops that is based on like relationship, community connections, and community building, I can definitely say cross-cultural connections because I've watched like New American women and their cross-cultural connections walk alongside each other, learning from each other, and helping each other. Like the cross-cultural connections helping the New American women navigate the system. And with this, they felt supported. They didn't feel alone, and it's also helpful to have somebody that if you're in a new place, have somebody that you can always text or call on and ask a question, or if you because I feel like sometimes a lot of our successes and a lot of the things we know is because of the people we are connected to, the relationships we have. So definitely, I can say the cross-cultural connections and the relationship that they have with the Treetops team, and yeah, I think, I, yeah, for me that is
That's
those
great.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's so true. Like just knowing, if I run into a bind, like who do I text? Who do I call? Just having one more person on that list. I can see how it would just make a difference to know like I do have somebody to call if I run into something. Um, the next question is just in your role as you both experience and hear a lot about the systems or ways of doing things here in West Michigan, what barriers do you see or do you hear about as being the most challenging to overcome?
The most challenging barrier that I see with a lot of new Americans, and I'm not talking about families that have been here for 5 or 10 years, I'm talking about new Americans, families that just came and are trying to get used to life here. I can say definitely transportation. A lot of women are vulnerable because of not having transportation, because of not being able to drive themselves from point A to Z. And as you all know, in America, everything is planned. It's according to appointment and schedule. Now imagine if you're not able, you have 3 kids and you have to get an appointment, you don't have a license, you're not able to drive to this place. That makes it very difficult for a lot of women. And I've seen that a lot of women can feel discouraged. And not only that, in some situations, they even taken advantage of or forced to be in situations that are uncomfortable that they wouldn't otherwise allow to happen if it was the other way around. So I would definitely say driving, transportation. And then of course adding on to that, like language also, like language is a huge barrier for a lot of new American women. Not being able to communicate, not being able to read the mail that comes in and understand what it's saying. And because of that, you find that, like in America, you guys, it's not like back home. People talk, communicate, you send a message. But here, you get mails every day. And it's just it's just overwhelming for somebody who does not speak the language. And because of this, you find that they are behind on their bills, they are behind on their child's appointment. So I would definitely say the language piece and transportation.
Language and transportation. Yeah. And I think the way that you explain those two is the way that having that barrier, like it's not just you experience it once, but it really does have a ripple effect throughout the rest of your life and how you can function and engage in the community. Um, I actually have a question from one of our audience members. So I think you'll like this one, Shadia. So I'm going to ask it. What is one thing that you hope West Michigan communities will understand or know about new Americans?
Okay, the first thing I want to say is English is not a determining factor of somebody's intelligence. Because I've seen a situation whereby a lot of new American are just treated in a way that is not human just because they don't speak English or they have an accent. So I'd really like to encourage people to know that the fact that a person doesn't speak in English doesn't determine how smart or how capable they are. So always being aware and sensitive of that and addressing people in a respectful manner and just being patient. And what else can I add to this? What was the question again, Abby? Say it one more time.
One thing that you would hope that like the West Michigan broader community will understand about new Americans. I love that language one, Shadia. I love what you said there.
Let us not, I think I would say that let us not put people in the same box, the same categories. As we all know, we have new Americans from like East Africa, Asia, like everywhere. So it's not fair that if you judge one person based on the actions of another new American, get to know people. And you really understand when you get to know people, you really understand that new Americans are just like any other person. They have dreams, they have goals, and they're driven, but in different ways and in different manners. So it's not fair
Hmm.
that they are all put in the same categories or judged based on the one experience you've had with a person.
That's great. It's a pretty good life lesson for us to carry with us throughout all of our life, that each person's experience is their own, and so we shouldn't be judging other people based off of our experience with one person. Finally, I just wanted to, could you reiterate or restate again for us the kind of the challenge that you gave to all of us for this Women's Month, or just moving forward? What's your invitation to us?
My invitation is honestly, like I said, let us be our sisters' keepers. Let us be women that honor, encourage, and motivate each other. Let us learn to respect and value each other and make new Americans, and let us create environments whereby everybody can feel like they belong, where people can feel worthy, they can feel loved, they can feel valued, they can feel supported without having fear of worrying about, because the biggest challenges like with new Americans is being lonely or feeling like you're alone, you have no support. But if we can be a community that creates that welcoming community where we can be supportive, we can encourage, we can honor, and just smile and be there and be welcoming, I think I'd like to challenge everybody to that. And let us respect each other, regardless of our religion, our background, or race, because it's really important that we respect people regardless of the background, and honor each other in our own different ways.
I love that. Thank you. Well, thank you, Shadia, again, and thank you to everyone that joined us today, and especially for those of you who have joined for the whole speaker series. It's just been a wonderful event, and we're very grateful to all of you that participated. Just a final invitation to join our celebration next week on March 31st. That'll be at 7 p.m. and I'm dropping the registration link in the chat right now, so don't forget to register. And you won't want to miss out. There's an opportunity to purchase a little cocktail gift kit that we put together with Eastern Kill Distillery and Emma's Plantain Chips. So you won't want to miss out on that. So make sure you check that out and get registered. And finally, if this is your first time hearing about Treetops Collective or getting a peek at kind of what we do, and who we work with and how we work with people, please head on over to treetopscollective.org and learn more about ways that you can get involved, either as a cross-cultural partner or through donating or whatever it is. There's lots of ways to support resilient women in our community. So thank you so much for joining, and we hope to see you next week on Wednesday. Thanks again, Shadia.
Thanks, Abby.